Jaguar, podcasting from www.jiggyjaguar.com.
Okay. Back live. Coast to coast and bone. All over the goddamn place. You are listening to the world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast. We are live as live can get. We are going to go to our first guest. Maybe our only guest. I don't know. We're going to go to Heath Austin. He is going to join us on the old traditional telephone. So I'm going to get a hold of him via the traditional telephone here on the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney. The old Skype-a-rooney is going away because apparently Microsoft doesn't realize what they have. So they are converting everyone over to something called Teams. I'm not sure what the hell we're going to end up doing, but we will figure it out. So we are going to go to Heath Austin here in just a few seconds. The incredible Heath Austin will join us here on our big broadcast. He's like everyone's porn crush, from what I understand. He is on the road driving, and I believe we have Heath Austin. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Jiggy. How are you today?
Pretty good, actually. As I was telling the audience before I got you here on the telephone, when I met you in the flesh in New Jersey, of all places, you quickly became every girl's porn crush. You are amazing.
That's always a nice thing to hear. And a nice thing for you to say.
Hey, I'll tell you, I had all sorts of girls of all shapes and sizes telling me that entire weekend after I had met you and you had been around our little ecosystem, they're like, what's his schedule like? And I said, he is completely booked. And it was like you had turned them all down for the prom. They were all disappointed.
I hate to be disappointing in that way.
But we have got the incredible Heath Austin with us today. He is amazing. I just love your energy and your whole vibe, I guess, as they say. First of all, how in the world did you get into this business? Because you look like, you sound like, and you kind of give me the feeling that you should be like a shaman somewhere, and not in the porn business.
Fair enough. It's been an interesting but very good journey. I actually only started making partnered content a couple years ago, but the way that I entered this industry was through Chatterbait in 2013.
Wow.
So I've actually been doing, I've been doing cam work basically solo for the first decade or so as I worked a completely other industry, and then, I was kind of doing cam, I guess you could say part-time. It's not really a full-time job hour-wise, but the amount of time you invest in it and to be good at it becomes almost a full-time job. But that's actually how I entered and where I gained most of my following. And then after essentially a decade of that, I received plenty of interest to make actual partnered content, and I decided to do adult work full time. And then, it hasn't been that long for me attending events. I'd say my very first event was AVN last year, but since then I have been essentially attending every event that Chatterbait sponsors. They take care of their models quite extensively and gain us access to XBiz and Exotica. And while AVN is not actually one of those events since they don't sponsor it. Yeah. However, I do attend basically every event that Chatterbait sponsors, and I'm happy to do so because they are very good people and they take care of me as well as the other models, and it makes it more interesting and more fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got the incredible Heath Austin with us today. He joins us here on our big broadcast, and you can join us each and every week at skyhawkafterdarkradio.com. And videos, podcasts, all the various things are available at jiggyjaguar.info. And Heath Austin with us today. And so you are quite the professional, I will have to say. One of the things that when I started getting into this content creation world, I am very weary about calling myself a porn star because I don't really think I'm a porn star. I think I'm a content creator. But
Agree.
I wanted to be.
I call myself a content creator.
See, there you go. Well, you've got the physique, the attitude to probably be a porn star. Me, not so much. But one of the things that
don't downgrade yourself, Jiggy. You're very handsome, my man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, sir. So one of the things that I tried to do when I first got into doing all this stuff was being as over-the-top professional as humanly possible. And I haven't noticed a lot of that in return until I bumped into you in New Jersey and before New Jersey. You are just over-the-top professional. Talk to me a little bit about this and how you have applied this to your content creation career.
Between Vegas and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
All right.
No, you're good.
All right.
You're good.
It's been an interesting journey for me, Jig. I'll give you kind of a small little pathway for me. Long ago, seems like moons ago, after I graduated high school, I was in the military for several years, and then I used the GI Bill to go to college, and then I went off into the corporate world, if you will. And so, I do believe that all of those combined elements gave me a bit of discipline and direction and professionalism, which when I left the corporate world kind of stayed in my system, and I bring it with me into this industry. And I tend to agree with you. There doesn't necessarily be a lot of professionalism. I don't want to minimize the good people and the very professional people that I do work with and have worked with and continue to work with. But that being said, just as an example, I went to Vegas for a possible, 5 collaborations that turned into 2 collaborations.
Yeah.
So, it's, and it's, again, I'm not degrading or talking down to anybody. It's kind of something that goes with this industry, and, things happen and you learn very quickly to not let it affect you personally, but then it also allows you to respect and appreciate the people that do treat it like an actual business. And, that being said, I consider myself a very friendly person, and I like to commiserate and talk with all different varieties of people, and I can communicate with a lot of different varieties of people, and I like doing so. To me, it just adds an element of essentially every single person that you meet can teach you something new, or you can learn something about a different type of person, or even yourself. And so I agree with you. When I met you, I found you extremely professional, and that's why I enjoy talking to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you when we meet up again at Exotica in Chicago.
Yes. Exotica Chicago is coming up in April. You are very in demand. as you were in New Jersey. Talk to me a little bit about your plans for Exotica Chicago. So some of the different things you're going to be participating in, my friend.
I appreciate you saying I'm high demand. It makes me feel pretty good. Like, how could it not? I never really considered myself in high demand, if you will, but then, as I'm getting reached out to and I do a little reaching out, I realize that I don't have any time left to fit any more slots, which, obviously is not a bad thing, fit into slots figuratively and literally, right?
Yes.
But yeah, absolutely. But that being said, I tend to be a bit of a people pleaser, and I don't like to say no, and that has gotten me into a little trouble with overbooking, and then I start getting a little anxiety riddled considering how many shoots I have to do, and I'm trying to back that number off per event so I can actually enjoy the event a little bit more and not feel so hard pressed to be working every 2 hours, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But that being said, I have at least a couple shoots per day while I'm there, but I've given it some space in between. I've got a couple gangbangs. I have a couple MFMs. I have a couple solos. And in between all that, I'd like to mingle and kind of chat with different people and meet the people I haven't met. And basically, get my personality out there and see who enjoys being in my presence and who wants to possibly work in the future. But I have a half dozen shoots on the books, and I'm kind of gonna see how that works out for me. Here, I'll give you an example. I did back in September. I did the Hot Wife tour in Las Vegas, and the whole people pleasing aspect of me booked 6 scenes in one day.
Oh wow!
And I woke up that morning, and I was like, "This is going to be a long, albeit good day, but it's going to be a long day." And I start, I have ability to do, multiple scenes, but 6 started to seem like a lot,
Yes.
But I did do every one of those scenes. They all came out, in my opinion, spectacularly. But then I decided after that 6th scene, I was like, all right, we're not doing 6 scenes in a day ever again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing, brother. Is you get to the point where you're like, oh boy. I have overbooked myself. That is.
But I will say,
yes, go ahead, my man. Go ahead.
If you do 6 scenes in a day and they are all successful, it also shows a little bit of ability, and it gives people the idea that you're reliable. And then, the Hot Wife tour, I was glad that they welcomed me to that. That was my second version of that. My first one was in Miami, and the reason I was invited was by shooting with someone that was a member of the tour who then recommended me. And as you said, high demand, that's a nice thing for you to say, but somebody within the industry that you respect and you appreciate, when they recommend you and they vouch for you, and then you come in and you show that you were the person that they vouched for, it looks good on paper, it looks good to other people, and it makes me feel good for not letting someone down who basically was giving their word that I was going to be able to be a good performer and make good scenes happen.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Heath Austin joins us here on our big program, talking a little bit about all sorts of different things. We have talked about just kind of how he has gotten into this whole thing. One thing I do want to go into with you, which I don't think a lot of people that I've ever interviewed have been able to really expand on this process, but your creative process and how you go about putting a scene together. What the hell is that like?
That's a good question. I think almost everybody has to go through this process to figure out what works best for them.
Yes.
And it's funny that you mentioned I look like a shaman of that nature. Yeah, I guess I do have a chopstick in my man bun. So my little look that I have. But it's funny because something that someone recommended that I should do is start a series of, say, yoga scenes where I am the yoga instructor and a traveling yoga instructor, if you will, and then basically stretch women out and give them the Heath Austin deep stretch yoga treatment. Now, the funny part
That
behind
is
this
awesome.
is, as much as I look like a yoga instructor, I don't do yoga. Like, I mean, I have done yoga, and
Yeah.
I like yoga, but it's not one of my regular activities, if you will. So here I was, after someone recommended I start those, and here I am Googling yoga positions and trying to figure out which positions are best for having sex in, right? So I am going, okay, downward dog. That's going to be a good one. All right, happy baby. There you go. That's going to be a successful position, And so I'm starting to practice these, and I'm starting to like try to work on my flexibility, and so that I can actually look like I know what I'm doing without just the appearance part of it. But that's just one aspect of scenes that I do. I I basically, for a scene to go over well, in my opinion, um, I found that I like to kind of get to know who the model is that I'm going to be working with and talk to them a bit and kind of feel them out and see what their vibe is. Um, a lot of people can just show up and 5 minutes later just dive right into a scene. And I'm not saying that I haven't done that or I can't do that, but I much more prefer to get to know a model so that I can have some form of a connection with
Yes.
them, which I believe makes a scene even better. Because I think a lot of times in this industry, scenes can be mechanical, if you will, and very
Yes.
formulaic. But if
Yes.
but if I feel the model and I are vibing and we have a good connection, it's going to make the scene even better. So that's what I try to accomplish before I go in to shoot an actual scene, because I want it to look as realistic and legitimate and passionate as it can be.
That is amazing. That is amazing because I know there are a lot of people that don't think on that level, so I appreciate you for thinking on that level. We have got Heath
Well,
Austin with us
thanks.
today. He joins us live here in our big broadcast. So, if someone were to, let's say, for instance, offer to pay for your lodging and your housing at one of these expos, uh, is that something you take someone up on, or is that, hey, I'm not going to be doing anything like that? Because I have talked to a few models that over the years that has been propositioned to them. That they're like, hey, we want you to come shoot some content for us. You can do some of your own bookings, but the majority of what you're going to be doing is with us. We'll have you at a booth. We'll have you all these things, and we'll pay for your lodging while you're there. I've had some people tell me, that's awesome. I would love to do it, blah, 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 because, in this business, we're all busting our tail. And then there's other people that are like, I don't want to do anything like that. Where do you come down on something like that?
I think it depends on the situation, and I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. I've been to several collaboration houses. I'm sure you're very familiar with what those
Oh,
are,
yes.
and I like them. And I like having a lot of different models consolidated in one location so that you can book things and then accomplish all the goals that you want to accomplish. What I've found on a personal level is that I like to have my own space that I can then travel to when I'm done shooting. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the people and more to do with the fact that I want to decompress in my own space and then kind of unwind and then prepare for my next day. And I don't party. I mean, don't let's not get it twisted. I like to have a good time and I like to go out with people and enjoy myself. But I want to be physically and mentally prepared for every scene that I have, so that it comes out the best that it can be. And I've learned from, you could say the hard way in previous experiences, that if you go out and you party with people and you go out and enjoy the night, you may not get enough rest. You may not do these things that you need to do to be at peak performance. And so I think it would be situationally dependent.
Yep.
I do a lot of independent work and I do a lot of reaching out on my own. So it's not impossible. Well, if the right situation presented itself, I would be into that. But I'd also, at the end of my shoots, I, again, like to have kind of my own space to unwind and have the alone time, because I've met other people similar to me in the aspect that I love to people. I like to talk to people. I like to make people laugh. I like to laugh. But then when I'm done peopling, I'm done peopling. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Yes, you want to do your own thing. Completely. I completely understand.
Kinda.
Uh
And that being
yes,
said,
go ahead.
one
brother.
more thing on that. I also I get taken care of pretty well by Chatterbait, and I do participate in their booth when I'm there. Not as much as many others do, because my chatterbaiting and my cam life is much different than many others, in the aspect where many people spend hours on and they're conversational. And I'm not saying I'm not. I have kind of a routine when it comes to me going on cam, but that's something I also promote for other models, which is, kind of harkening back to how you said, what is my creative process? Another way that I reach out and kind of become attractive to models to work with is, it's not just shooting content for me. I will promote having models come on cam with me, and there's three things that I get to offer them besides doing a content collab where, they have to sell their own content. When you come on cam with me, you get to make money in real time when we're done. That's the first thing. The second thing is you get active promotion for your pages, whether it be OnlyFans or ManyVids or what have you, however you sell your content. And number three, I do ticket shows. So once we go into the ticket show, I then record it, edit it later, and then give that model a piece of content. So they're getting three different things by coming on cam with me. They're getting cash, they're getting promotion and selling subscriptions, and then they're also getting a piece of content. So I do things a little bit differently than maybe some other models or content creators. So I'm technically, I suppose, a cam model / content creator.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome. We have got a great guest with us today, a very insightful conversation today with Heath Austin. He joins us today here on our big program. And so I've got to know, because I had all sorts of people asking me in New Jersey when we were with you and talking with you. What in the world is it like being Heath Austin? Because the girls just go wild for you. The guys are envious of you.
You're making me blush on my drive to Los Angeles right now, Jiggy. You know that? I appreciate it. If I needed an ego boost today, I definitely have it. I think what keeps me able to be efficient, what it's like a day in the life of Heath Austin, is routine, as boring as that sounds. I have kind of pretty standard routine that I do every day, which includes, several hours at the gym with sauna, and then I come home and I cook meals six days a week for myself. I like to have someone else cook for me, whether it be a restaurant or another human being, one of those days. And then I generally go on cam for a couple hours. And, by the time that's done, I have to do, normal fucking chores that everyone else would do. I'm sorry, did I drop an F-bomb?
No,
okay?
you're good. You're good. You're good, baby. You're good.
All right. You never know. I didn't know if you need to believe
No,
me
no,
after
no, no.
that.
You're good.
And I
You're
do
good,
normal
baby.
chores. I do any other chores that any other human being would do to pick up my house, and then cook dinner for myself and kind of unwind. And then if I'm actually going to do a cam show with one of my regulars who are local to me, and then I prepare for that. Every day is fairly regimented, but I also do a lot of traveling. I don't have many I'd say I don't have any hobbies where I collect things or purchase things. My hobby, ironically enough, is the gym and cooking and traveling. So I try to travel as much as I can. Last year I was in Costa Rica and Aruba and Cabo. And in 2023, I spent 6 months in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, China, Laos. And I don't know. I just I like to see other cultures, and I like to experience other cuisines, and I like to meet different types of people from every socioeconomic background you can imagine. And it just, again, it kind of makes a deeper me and allows me to understand what different people are like and all about. And I like those types of things.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. We have got Heath Austin with us today. He joins us here on our big program. He's going to be part of Chicago Exotica. And he is a very in-demand individual. Ever since we met him in New Jersey, I have a ton of women who flood me with just messages like nobody's business. When we start putting these events together, asking me, is Heath Austin going to be there? Is he going to be available? Is there any way I can set up a collab with him? So I'll tell you, at some stage of the game, maybe in New Jersey, I need to figure out some way to get a whole bunch of space on your calendar. Because
I hear you, my man.
there are a lot of women that would love to work with you. So talk to me a little bit about some of the people you're going to be working with in Chicago.
Well, actually, one of your very own is actually first on my list.
Oh, she's first on everybody's list, brother. She's very in demand.
I saw her in New Jersey when I came to shoot with Heather Austin. Ironically,
that is just the most amazing thing in the world. Heath Austin and Heather Austin.
I thought it was as well. I said I can't pass up to shoot with essentially the female version of myself, it would seem. But I saw Peachy. She was present while we were shooting, and she just kind of caught my eye. And I had literally one slot left on that opening day when I arrived, and I reached out, and she was very happy to shoot with me, and I was very happy that she accepted, and she's first on the list. I'll also be working with a woman named Mrs. Englewood, who I've worked with before, except this time her wonderful husband asked if I could make her airtight with Arizona porn star and my buddy Austin West Philly Dungeon. So I'll be filling that in. And then I'll also have Sexy Nurse Jen, who is a good friend of mine. We've have a couple collabs with multiple people, but this will be my first solo with her. And then I have a couple gangbangs on the agenda. One with South Westside Nicky, which was organized by my buddy Matt Bishop. And then I'm not sure I'm going to see. I already told you I don't want to overbook myself. So I told my buddy Drew Will that he asked me if I'd be a part of his gangbang. And like I said, I don't like to say no, but I'm trying to learn to be better so that I don't spread myself too thin. So I may or may not be doing that. It kind of just depends on what time he gets back to me with. So we'll see what we can come up with. But I think off the top of my head, without looking at my schedule, I know that's 5 of them right there, and I know I have 2. I'm either at 7 or 8. I just can't remember off the top of my head who the other 2 are at this moment. But I will let you know. I'll text you and let you know what those are as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm going to let you get back down the road. I appreciate you making as much time as you did with us today. This has definitely been fantastic, and I look forward to talking to you in New Jersey. I know that at some point you're going to be coming by and doing some media stuff with us, and I look forward to seeing you, my friend.
Absolutely, Jiggy. Thanks for having me on the program. I'm glad that our timing was able to work out. I look forward to seeing you in Chicago, and we'll see what we can put together for New Jersey, all right?
Definitely. Well, have yourself a blessed day, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
I will, Jiggy. Have a great day.
Thank you,
Take
my
care.
friend. There he goes. That is the incredible Heath Austin. He joins us today.